call on state leaders to support their fight. Around 3,700 workers walked off the job 2 weeks ago after their labor contracts expired at midnight the previous day. Union leaders say the main issues include increased pay to keep up with inflation, retirement security, and improved working conditions. The number of catalytic converter theft claims dropped in the first half of the year. Michigan news source's Katie Hyde has the story.
For the first time since 2019, State Farm said 14,500 claims were filed between January 1st and June 30th, compared to the 23,000 thefts during the same period 1 year ago. Once stolen, catalytic converters are often melted down for their valuable metals. For Michigan News Source, I'm Katie Hyde.
A report from a Guidepost Solution says the shooting by Ethan Crumley was avoidable at Oxford High School. The more than 572-page report says events leading up to the shooting should have alerted officials at the school that the shooter was a threat. It says his actions, statements, and drawings might have been a cause for physical harm at the school. Crumley pleaded guilty to killing 4 students and injuring 7 others. The Ottawa County Board of Commissioners have not yet voted on the fate of Adeline Hambley, who was in charge of the Ottawa County Health Department. She's been charged with misconduct, incompetence, and neglect of duty. Monday morning, the board delayed a vote which would remove her from her post, saying they'll reconvene next week. Some members of the public were on hand to support Hamley, while others were upset the commissioners are taking too long to remove her from office. WSGW News Time 9:10. Here's WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Your Halloween forecast today does have a couple of tricks in it. We are expecting some rain and snow showers. Primarily should actually be snow with some rain mixing in, but we will see that during the afternoon and the evening, more on an isolated and even scattered basis. So not everybody will see this activity, but those who do see it, certainly something that's not too common. Seeing some snowflakes on Halloween, definitely not unheard of, but definitely not something we see every year. For today, it'll also only be a high of 40 degrees. That puts us into the middle 30s by the evening. Trick-or-treaters, it'll be feeling more like the upper 20s with the wind factored in, so please bundle up for the evening. For tonight, we'll have a low of 26 degrees, mostly clear, just some lake effect still in the thumb. Wednesday, still that lake effect in the thumb with a high of 41, then 45 on Thursday. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Right now, it's 32 degrees at WSGW.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Good morning and happy Halloween, everyone. Welcome to the Art Lewis Show. This is Matt Felan serving as a guest host this week for Art. Art is on a much-needed and well-deserved vacation. So everybody, you're stuck with me and everything Great Lakes Bay region through Monday. Halloween, always a great day. I can tell you I had kids that woke up in my house today. They had school off, a pretty thoughtful maneuver by the district, I thought, to have Halloween off. Apparently, the elementary school kids don't focus too well on Halloween, so it was nothing but joy, honest to God, snoring in my house when I left this morning. But today, we are going to chat with a Hoosier, my friend Seth Perigo, the Central and Northern Michigan Regional President for Huntington Bank. Good morning, Seth.
Well, good morning, Matt. It's great to be here.
We got to start. I mean, I asked the question, what's a Hoosier? I mean, there's no other place to start than I think everybody out there driving, when I said that, is asking themselves, you know what is a Hoosier? So what is a Hoosier?
Well, besides being the greatest basketball dynasty of all time.
Oh, no, here we go.
I'm sure I just caused a few people to swerve on the road because, as I come here, all I hear is go blue, go green, go white. But no, us Hoosiers, we have a proud mascot because no one knows what it is exactly. And growing up, the tale was back in the pioneer days is that you had the door, it was shut, closed, and if someone came knocking, you would say, "Who's there?" And in our wonderful Southern drawl, it turned into Hoosier. And that's the history of the Indiana Hoosiers. Now, there's 3 or 4 different variations of that story. I like to believe that mine is the most accurate.
It's pretty good. So I used to do some political work back in Missouri. And when we were there, especially in St. Louis, when someone wanted to insult you, they just called you a Hoosier. I mean, how do you feel about that, Seth? I mean, isn't that a step too far?
That is a low blow, Matt. I'd like to keep this radio show clean if we could.
Absolutely. Well, Seth, I think a great part to start is tell us about yourself. It's fun to hit each other back and forth about Big Ten rivalries, but you are a transplant from Indiana who made their way here to the Great Lakes Bay region. Tell us your background and history before you joined Huntington Bank.
Yeah, absolutely. So, my wife and I were actually just talking about this because it was 5 years ago, right about this time, that we actually were unpacking boxes into our home in Bay County, and we were just wondering, gosh, we can't believe it's been that amount of time. Now, admittedly, a lot has happened over the last 5 years. I'm sure some of that we will be getting to here today. But born and raised Southern Indiana. I'm married to my beautiful wife, Brooke, and I have 2 wonderful kids. My wife and I started, quote, dating whenever I was in 6th grade and she was in 5th grade. And so we've been together a very long time, high school sweethearts. But before I got into banking, I had a natural path into banking. I started out clear cutting log timbers for a company, which got me into wood sales in Arkansas.
Makes sense. I mean, every banker I know really started in wood sales. So, I mean, this is what you expect.
No, absolutely. And so whenever I was in Arkansas and I started to kind of look for a change in career because of the early signs of the housing crisis that was going to hit us in 2008, 2009, being a new construction sales, you can start to see the softening. And so actually, Brooke actually found an ad for monster.com, which I don't know if that's around anymore, for a personal banker for JP Morgan. It sounded like a pretty cool gig, talking to people about money, something that I admittedly didn't know a whole lot about. And ended up packing up and moving to Indianapolis, working for Chase Bank as a personal banker. And the very first time that I was sat down, I had the keys to the castle. The desk was in front of me, and this little old lady came in, and she literally had, the walker, and she was sitting and she sat down and said, "Young man, I would like to buy a $50,000 CD." My first response was, "What's a CD?" That's how green I was.
They were these banking. Little discs. We used to put them in cars and it played music. Is that where your head went?
Yeah. So I had a really steep learning curve, and spent a couple years just really kind of getting into the industry, getting to know individuals, what makes them tick. I love learning people's stories, and I think money has a story to tell. Each of us probably think about money more than we should. It makes the world go around. And so I've always just been interested in how it plays its part. Spent a couple years in JP Morgan. Then a bank, Huntington National Bank, was doing some cool things in the Indianapolis market. And I decided to make the turn there and became a branch manager in 2009 in Indianapolis. And I've never looked back.
So when I think about the economy and thinking about businesses that make a lot of money and opportunity costs and things that I should have done, I always ask myself, why didn't I go into the bank sign business? Because it certainly seems like bank signs change frequently, which that's kind of gets us to the Huntington story. Here in this region, Huntington Bank was here, but it had a smaller presence. And now suddenly Huntington seems to have a massive presence due to mergers and acquisitions and some things that have happened. So, here in the Great Lakes Bay region, Chemical Bank had a large footprint in Midland. It was the kind of that hometown and regional bank, and it's morphed several times since then. And now we're at Huntington Bank. Can you talk about that transition from Chemical to Huntington through the years? I know that you were not there. You were a Huntington guy, and you guys were the ones that were holding the ball when it was said and done. But for the listeners here in this region, they really, revert back to what was Chemical Bank and how that shifted to Huntington in the last few years.
Yeah, actually, I like to even take a step further back, because whenever I was looking at this opportunity, I was having a chat with our CEO Steve Steinauer, and he asked me, what do you think of Michigan, and more importantly, what do you think of Saginaw? And I'd never heard of Saginaw, Michigan, and never been here. Had to spend a little bit of time in Michigan, and actually he held up his left hand like we all do, and I didn't know what that meant, and I honestly almost stood up and gave him a high five and was like, yeah, Michigan. And so I've since learned that he was pointing to where Saginaw was
That's what we do, Hoosier. That's what we do
on the map. And so I wanted to do some history on how Huntington came into this area, and it has been through acquisition. Second National Bank became Citizens and First Merit, and then Huntington merged with First Merit in 2016, which really gave us a nice presence in the Saginaw Bay City, market and in northern Michigan. And I saw an opportunity to where whenever there are good communities who want to work well together, I saw an opportunity to come in and just be a part of a cool story. And that's what I've been experiencing over the last 5 years. I did not know that story would then take us into a merger with TCF, that had prior been Chemical Bank. We're super excited to have those individuals and all those customers join us. But yeah, it's been a fun journey. The area that I cover now is really from the Thumb up through Traverse City, all through the Great Lakes Bay region, up through the UP. It's a really interesting territory full of people with just really good stories to tell. And the one thing that I love about Huntington Bank is that we want to listen. We want to listen to individuals. We want to hear where are you at in your stage of life and where are you going? And if we can kind of play a nice small part of that in the community with businesses and with individuals, that matches with my own personality. And so, yeah, so it's been quite a fun ride, actually.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I think you've done a phenomenal job because it was tough for a lot of the folks, especially in the Midland community, as Chemical Bank morphed. And you just needed the right leader when the dust settled that could get people to just exhale a little bit and to understand change and to understand kind of that new landscape. And I think you've done a great job of being that leader and getting people to know that the banking that they need, the services that they need, was still available. It was still here, and in certain ways had probably changed for the good.
Yeah, I think, people bank with people. And whenever you throw change into that, you want to know that your money is safe and in that who you're banking with contributes positively to the community in which you live. That's really important to most people, I would say. The good thing is that that's really important to us as well. But a leader is only as good as its people. And I am very blessed to have like-minded individuals who came together from both organizations. And we decided early on that we wanted to be an active member of the Great Lakes Bay region, inside of Bay City, inside of Saginaw, inside of Midland, rolling up our sleeves and helping move the vision of the Great Lakes Bay region forward. And I believe because of that early action of just saying, this is what's important to us. We are going to focus on these things and just judge us by what we do, not by what we say. And I believe that over the last couple of years, what people have seen in this body of work is that there's just some local community people who happen to work for a bank called Huntington Bank who want to make the world a better place. And we do that through working closely with individuals and listening to their story.
Well, Seth, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to chat about all of your various business offerings at Huntington Bank after these messages.
We can't see tomorrow, but we can hear it. And it sounds like peace of mind, knowing our lakes will be better protected by placing Line 5 in the Great Lakes Tunnel. And that we've added extra safety measures while we work to build it, because we're committed to keeping the Great Lakes safe for generations to come. Tomorrow is on. Visit enbridge.com/line5 for more information. Enbridge. Life takes energy.
Meet the dedicated team of professionals at McLaren Bay Region. They're committed to providing the best possible experience for their patients.
Hello, my name is Garrett Engelhardt. I'm the nurse manager of critical care at McLaren. We're a 22-bed unit. We take care of medically complex, critically ill patients. We work closely with patients' family and the entire care team for the best possible outcomes and experience for our patients.
When choosing McLaren Bay Region for your healthcare needs, you can trust that you'll be doing what's best for you and your family.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks. And how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Caterpillar shares are losing ground. The heavy equipment maker's quarter smashed earnings expectations, though investors were looking for a stronger forecast from the company. JetBlue had a miserable quarter. Its loss in the summer was even wider than expected. JetBlue says the sheer magnitude of air traffic control and weather-related delays has been staggering. JetBlue expects to lose money for the year, and also the Justice Department's lawsuit to block JetBlue's merger with Spirit Airlines starts today. Consumers may be feeling the sting of inflation and higher interest rates, but the National Retail Federation is predicting Halloween spending will rise to a record of more than $12 billion this year. The average person is expected to spend more than $108 on Halloween. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Ashley Banfield and Chris Cuomo on America's fastest growing cable news network, News Nation.
The viewer seems to have been lost in the shuffle of cable news lately. They don't want a team sport. They want the full picture.
The appetite is greater than it has ever been for perspective, for understanding, and for information that they can not just trust, but use.
See why more people are turning to News Nation, news for all America. To find News Nation on your screen, go to joinnn.com.
Think about this. Your valuable acres destroyed by an unrelenting disease, tar spot. Now, think about this. 9/10 of a second. The time it takes to open a bag of the toughest, most effective seed corn you'll ever lay your hands on, making any worry of lower yields and deadly diseases dissipate. Prefer that thought? So do we. Pioneer brand corn products. Field proven and ready for yours. Visit pioneer.com/tarstop.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. There are a lot of great dads out there. Sometimes those dads get divorced. For more than 30 years, we've represented men in divorce, confronting the pitfalls that could devastate your finances or harm your family relationships. While every situation is different, our goal is to get the best outcome for you and your kids. Visit CordellCordell.com to take the first step.
Offices in Detroit, Ann Arbor, and Grand Rapids. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's attorneys. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Good morning and welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. This is Matt Felan with the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance filling in for Art this week. And I'm joined by Seth Perigo with Huntington Bank. And, I tease the guy about being from Indiana and being a Hoosier. And I look a little bit closer during the break, and he's literally wearing a red and white striped button-down shirt that looks like the Indiana Hoosiers basketball warm-ups. Did you do that intentionally?
I did that 100% intentionally just for you. I was hoping that you would pick up on my cream and crimson that I had on this morning. Go Hoosiers.
Dear God, man. Next time I'm not even wearing my green. Being a Spartan football fan, it's pretty painful to wear our green right now. So I'm doing the best I can. But no, I appreciate that. You literally look like you're warming up. Pivoting back to Huntington Bank, would love to chat about the footprint here in the Great Lakes Bay region. And let's say that one of our listeners in an office right now or driving around is looking for a new financial institution. Maybe they're an existing Huntington customer and they just have a simple checking and savings account. It'd be great to hear what are the different services that you offer and What would even be more helpful, Seth, is given kind of the current state of the financial industry right now and interest rates. What are some of the things that you're seeing going on that people are taking more advantage of right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll talk about the first. Huntington Bank, being a regional bank, we offer every possible tool that is out there for consumers and your average small business owner. We focus really core between three main segments, and that is your consumer or retail banking, and that is everything like you mentioned. Someone's checking, savings, mortgage, wants to start saving for retirement and wants a little bit of help. And then your small business through the entire cycle from startup to selling your business. We work with you individually, face to face, eyeball to eyeball through your entire journey where you are at. We will come to you. We have a really good branch distribution across the region, and so we're never too far away from a Huntington branch, and so we want to meet you where you're at. And then as you get closer to retirement, or if you're blessed to be more affluent, we have a really strong wealth management team that will help you as you want to set up your structure to be the most benefit to the goals that you would like to offer. We believe that having national capabilities, but being able to deliver them local is really our main kind of point that we like to share with our individuals. From a small business standpoint, we love the SBA. We believe in it, the Small Business Administration, and for 6 years in a row, we have been the number one SBA lender by the number of transactions across the entire country. Same for here in Michigan as well, which means that through our branches and through our regional banking team across the region, we are working with thousands of customers right now, businesses trying to help them in the times that we're at and planning for the future. And I think that's really important to be forward thinking. Sit down and let's talk about what's going to happen over the next 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, because as you mentioned, there's a lot going on right now. And we feel that we are in, obviously we all feel that we are in a higher interest rate environment. And we also feel like this is going to stick around for a little bit. It's going to stay higher for longer. So individuals and business owners have decisions to make right now. A lot of people are trying to find the best yield for the money that they do have, like you mentioned, in your savings or your money market. But we got to take it a step further. So you have to make the decision of, is it better to utilize that money and save it? Should you invest it? Or should you pay down debt that you have? Or should you keep the debt that you have that's at a lower rate and use your cash instead of borrowing? So it's a very interesting time right now because the rates have accelerated so quickly. But also we feel that the monetary policy actions that have been taken are actually helping to curb inflation over the next 12 months. We may not be feeling it right now, but you can kind of see the easing starting to take place. And so the next 12 months are going to be very interesting, I think, to watch from just a fiscal policy standpoint. But the important part of that is we need to be having conversations with our customers. Our customers need to be having conversations with us, engaging with us how they normally engage, whether that's in a branch, whether that's through an individual banker, whether that's through your app or through some of the tools that we have available digitally. It's really important to be on top of your finances right now, because when there's a changing environment, you also need to maybe adjust your everyday habits as well.
Yeah, and if there's one thing that I think we've seen is as they've raised interest rates in order to curb inflation, it's definitely made the housing market, the market for buying cars, boats, RVs, much more challenging for some folks because the interest rates are so high. But if they're savvy with their money and they really look at this holistically, they have the ability to level off a little bit if they're investing in CDs right now, if they're looking at taking advantage of those high interest rates in those savings accounts and money markets. Are you seeing people doing that where they're like, hey, I got to get this car loan, but that car loan is now 7%. Hey, I have to try to balance this out a little bit. So I'm going to put money in X, Y, or Z and take advantage of interest rates on the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. I think today's consumer is a much more informed consumer, and I think that's a really good thing. I think people are not rushing to make these financial decisions. They're actually kind of taking a step back and they are seeking counsel, and that's where it needs to be. We're still seeing, modest loan growth of probably 5% here at Huntington through the end of this year, which is what we thought it was going to be at the beginning of the year. So people are still borrowing, but we feel that they are taking their time making the decision and just making sure that the structure, that the term, maybe how much they put down is just, they're giving that a little bit more thoughtful intent, and they are packaging that up with, okay, maybe instead of the down payment, I'm putting money into a CD so that the interest rate will help offset or other tools. But yeah, it's been an interesting time to see people kind of change, rather than just when money was practically free. You wanted it, you went out and bought it. Now people are just kind of taking that necessary pause, and they're making really good informed decisions.
So, Seth, you guys were in the news recently. There were some headlines about a few branch closures, and sometimes those headlines kind of just stick out and they flash, and they don't maybe tell the full story of what's going on. Those closures are pretty minimal here, aren't they, in terms of how they're going to impact us here in the region for Huntington Bank, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, as we shared in our most recent earnings announcement, as a corporation, we are consolidating 34 branches. It's going to happen in the first quarter of 2024. It represents only about 3% of our total branch network. Here locally, the impact is minimal as well, just a few branches here and there. But I think the reason why we have made these decisions is that we're trying to follow our customers. How are they utilizing the mixes between in-store branches, brick and mortar, ATM, mobile, online banking? And so we need to kind of make necessary adjustments to meet them where they're at, where they're doing their banking, but also where are they at physically. And so sometimes we have to just make these necessary adjustments to fine tune, so that way we are delivering our services to them as efficiently as possible.
No, that makes sense. I can tell you, I had a vehicle loan through Huntington. 5 years, I never walked into a branch a single time. It was beautiful.
Matt, we'd love to have you in a branch. Don't come and you with that smile that you have. But I know also a lot of people will ask about the colleagues in the branches, and I just want to just make sure everyone knows that we make every effort in these situations to keep the colleagues at Huntington. We need people, just like a lot of people need people. And so we're working with them so that we want them to continue to be a part of Huntington, so they can continue to serve the local communities for sure.
Fantastic. Thanks for clarifying. We're going to take another break, but we'll be back with Seth Perigo from Huntington Bank.
The 35th Annual Dow Tennis Classic returns to Midland now through Sunday, November 5th. Watch top-ranked professional female athletes from around the world compete in the WTA 125 event. Tickets range from free daytime matches to all-inclusive experiences with Grand Slam dining and beverages. Support area nonprofits and local businesses, all while watching world-class tennis. For more information and tickets, visit DowTennisClassic.com.
Hi, Art Lewis here. And after many years in several vehicles, I finally get to talk about my car dealer, McDonald Ford, on M47 in Freeland. McDonald Ford wants you to know they are now buying cars. You can sell your vehicle by beginning the process by simply sending 7 photos of your car to joe@mcdonaldford.com. Photos must be of the front, rear, left, and right sides, car's interior, dashboard showing vehicle mileage, and a photo of your title showing the VIN number. Receive an offer, and you decide. Payment is on the spot and includes all paperwork and lien release. Don't wait. Put cash in your pocket today and tell your friends and family too. Send your photos to joe@mcdonaldford.com. That's joe@mcdonaldford.com. Oh, by the way, mention my name, Art Lewis, and they'll throw in a free lunch with the deal. McDonald Ford, 6790 Midland Road in Freeland, devoted to helping and serving you.
What's the most important part of a retirement plan?
Income is king because we only need income. And if you don't have an income plan, you don't have a retirement plan.
That's Kevin Ray, financial coach at Insight Folios. Kevin tells his listeners every week about the importance of income planning, minimizing taxes, and strategies to lead a worry-free retirement. Learn all about that and get your own complimentary financial review by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. There are a lot of great dads out there. Sometimes those dads get divorced. For more than 30 years, we have represented men in divorce, confronting the pitfalls that could devastate your finances or harm your family relationships. While every situation is different, our goal is to get the best outcome for you and your kids. Visit CordellCordell.com to take the first step.
Offices in Detroit, Ann Arbor, and Grand Rapids. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's attorneys. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Exergen thermometers are proven to be more accurate than non-contact thermometers. With children back at school, keeping them healthy is important. Clinical studies have proven that non-contact thermometers are inaccurate and can miss fevers. Accuracy matters. That's why the Exergen thermometer is trusted and used by medical professionals. Exergen thermometers are available at many fine retailers. Choose a trusted and accurate thermometer for personal use. Learn more about why accuracy matters. Available at Walgreens and participating retailers. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26-BIBLE.
The back-to-back Big Ten champions are hungry for more.
He's in the clear, to the 10, to the 5, yes. Tipped in, intercepted.
What a great catch.
Into the blue, touchdown, Wolverines.
Join us Saturday, November 4th when Michigan hosts Purdue in a rematch of last year's Big Ten title game. Kickoff is at 7:30, right here on your home for the Wolverines.
Game day coverage presented by Lingle Equipment begins at 6:30 on 790 AM WSGW.
Thank you for being with 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
Good morning. Happy Halloween, everyone. Welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. This is Matt Felan with the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance filling in for Art through Monday as he's out on a much-needed vacation. And I'm here this morning with Seth Perigo, Central and Northern Michigan Regional President for Huntington Bank. Seth, so one thing I would love to chat about is, and give you guys a ton of credit for, it seems when I'm out and about in the community at various charitable events or activities going on, it seems like Huntington Bank is always there. You're there. Jen Lee's there. Lots of people are out and about all through the Great Lakes Bay region. You guys have made a really concerted effort to get involved and engage and to give back here in the local community. And I'm guessing that Huntington Bank has some very specific criteria or kind of pillars of community involvement and giving. Can you talk about, how you do that? And I even think more important, just the why. Why do you guys find that to be such a big priority?
I would love to, Matt. But first, I have some colleagues who are listening to me, and they're telling me that I have the best face for radio. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So we'll have to talk to them later. But my wife is digging my kind of fall allergy, kind of raspy voice going on here. So,
Seth, there's no question that the region wants you and I on radio as much as possible, and maybe not as visible. It's just we're getting older. This is just how it works, man.
Absolutely. I shaved my beard the other day and more white came out. And so it's very depressing. But no, thank you for asking that question. And so I talk a lot about with my team, my why. Why am I in banking? And I think industry wide, a lot of people who are in retail kind of community banking do it because we have a service heart. We really enjoy working with people and solving problems. And I think what a Huntington, something that we have focused on, is that there are a lot of problems in the world, but there are a few that if a bank is doing banky things, and that's a trademark, that's my own statement, Matt.
Is that with a Y or an IE?
I want you to keep that. That's none of your business, Matt. So, but no, it's what are we good at? What skill set do we bring to the table? And so a couple of years back, Huntington, we all of us leaders got together and we decided that we were going to have kind of a written focus, a core strategic plan. And so we created our community plan, and really it's all about, social equity, wealth gap, racial equity. What can we do to deliver to help people and meet them where they're at? And so there are really three core areas of that. There is small business, there is home and consumer lending, and then there's really community development lending and investing. But at the core of those, which I'll get into those in just a second, the core of those is we can't do it unless we have the right people who are delivering this locally. And we have to partner with organizations like the Great Lakes Bay Region Alliance, like a number of others, because we can't be everywhere, but we want to support the organizations that we feel that are aligning the best with our mission. We're just very, very blessed here in this area that we have a lot of organizations who are aligned in that. And so something that I am personally proud of, my why, I love working with small business owners. That's just something I've always been drawn to, because if you work with a business owner for years and years and years, and then they get to the point to where it's time for them to pass the reins and sell that business or to a family member or to a key individual, it's a really special moment to be at that closing table and to see two different sets of people's dreams come true over one single set of paper. You have two individuals who are selling their business. They get to relax. There's this nervous excitement about them that they can kind of move on and do other things. And then you got probably a little bit different of nervous excitement from the individuals who are looking to kind of buy it, but they're excited because they get to be business owners. So small business and helping people has always been my why. But others, same thing, at a closing table for a mortgage, right? You have people who are going to move into this home because they want it, and other people have decided to move on and to do something different. What I want to do is help everyone do that. So a few things that we're really focused on is around small businesses, that we created a micro lending strategy. Micro lending means $1,000 up to $150,000. And we are focused on minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, veteran-owned businesses, and businesses that are located in what are called low to moderate income tracts. These are the areas of our region that maybe have been hit a little bit harder over the years. And if someone wants to invest into a business in that area and grow the business, we want to partner with them. And so it's called our Lift Local strategy. We're going to work with them from a startup to maybe they're going to expand, or if they just want to kind of change something, or if they need some working capital. Not only are we going to help fund them in the process, but we've partnered with the SBDC and Operation Hope to kind of get them really strong business counseling before we fund, because it's not always about where the money goes. It's about how it gets there. And so that is one area that we are extraordinarily focused on, is really getting out there and getting with our small business owners.
I want to continue this exact conversation, but we're going to take a quick break here on the Art Lewis Show.
You have a family doctor. Do you have a family plumber? When you have a plumbing, heating, or cooling problem happen in your home or business, you need to be able to call a professional that you can rely on and trust to make the repair or equipment replacement. Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been the professional homeowners and businesses trust for 65 years. Whether you're looking for an emergency water heater replacement or planning a new heating system installation, you can trust Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning to provide quality service and installation. Reamer has the equipment to fit every budget, experienced estimators, and state licensed technicians to install. Trust a professional to do the job right. Call Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Visit them on the web at reamerplumbing.com.
Any way you spell it, Reamer means quality.
Attention everyone on Medicare.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Cut.
What? This is a Medicare annual enrollment ad.
Yeah, but for eHealth, we make Medicare easy, not stressful. You can compare plans in the Saginaw area from multiple insurance companies side by side.
So it's convenient.
And personal. Compare plans that cover your doctors, your medications, and your budget.
Personal.
Plus, you'll get free unbiased support from eHealth's licensed insurance agents with no obligation to enroll.
I see it now. eHealth's like a helpful guide or...
Your Medicare matchmaker.
Exactly. Okay, here we go. Medicare plans change every year. Find the plan for you by comparing all-in-one plans all in one place at eHealth, your Medicare matchmaker.
Nailed it.
Get started at eHealth.com or call 1-800-975-1891 to speak to a licensed insurance agent.
That's 1-800-975-1891.
All voices are paid actors. This ad is not from the government. It's from eHealth, an insurance agency selling plans for many insurance companies.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. There are a lot of great dads out there. Sometimes those dads get divorced. For more than 30 years, we've represented men in divorce, confronting the pitfalls that could devastate your finances or harm your family relationships. While every situation is different, our goal is to get the best outcome for you and your kids. Visit CordellCordell.com to take the first step.
Offices in Detroit, Ann Arbor, and Grand Rapids. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's attorneys online at CordellCordell.com.
Major phone carriers make you sign contracts with rigid data plans to trap you into a kind of forced phonogamy. Sounds pretty insecure if you ask me. At Consumer Cellular, we believe in a more consensual and healthy form of phonogamy, free of contracts and more flexible to your data needs. This way, you stick around not because we force you to with contracts and fees, but because you love our phone plans. Like ardently love our phone plans. Phonogamously. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Your pet isn't just a pet, they're part of your family. Most of the pet food on the market is cooked at high temperatures, which kills nutrients. A scoop of Dynovite is a 3-in-1 daily supplement, adding back key nutrients to your pup's health. Try Dynovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio. That's dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dynovite.
Good morning, and welcome back to the final segment of our first hour here on the Art Lewis Show. This is Matt Felan, and I'm joined today by Seth Perigo with Huntington Bank. And we've really been talking about your ability to help people and to give back. And before the break, we were going to start chatting about some of those opportunities in affordable housing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in addition to small business, we feel that, through the average person's lives, the home is probably their greatest asset, and it's something that it makes them feel complete to have a home around them. And so we want to do everything that we can. And so we have a number of very specific programs. We have assistance programs. We have for our low to moderate income borrowers, for the borrowers that are inside of low to moderate income tracks. Again, we have very, very robust closing cost assistance. And so we want to do everything that we can work with you. But it ties into not just the product of the affordable housing, it's helping people get there. October is Financial Literacy Month, and something that we spend a lot of time on is delivering financial literacy, home buying, credit score, budgeting classes to a lot of our local nonprofits. Patricia Franklin Lindsay is my local community development relationship manager. If you think that me and Jen are everywhere, you haven't seen that woman's schedule. It's incredible. She spends so much time just meeting people where they're at the nonprofit, working with them on getting them prepared for that next step in their financial journey. And again, we have the tools inside of our community plan, but I am not anywhere without my people. And so the people share the vision. And so if there's an opportunity for us to help you, reach out to us. We'd love to meet with you at a number of the local profits that we work with, or also just kind of face-to-face over a cup of coffee.
Yeah, and Seth, kind of that last area where you're very visible, you're really active and generous with our regional nonprofits. How and why have you formed that strategy here in the region?
So whenever I came here, I always look for an area of what does the future hold and what is the core foundation. And I think that there is just a natural love for helping people here in the Great Lakes Bay region. And that's what drew me to move my wife and kids here. And so I think because there's that foundation and there's this wonderful opportunity for economic growth, that is why that I decided to move here, because I see kind of that sparkle in everyone's eye and what they think the vision should be.
Yeah, and this is an area, I mean, we want to grow. We need to get more people here. And folks like yourself who come in from the outside, it's important, right? We talk about it inside the Alliance. There has to be a sense of belonging here in this region. When someone moves in from Indiana, from an outside area, when they come here, they have to feel like they really belong and that it's a place they want to be. What is kind of just your thoughts being that outsider moving in? And you said earlier, they said, hey, what do you think about Saginaw? And you're high-fiving your boss, right? You don't even know what that means. Since you've been here now for 5 years, what are your thoughts about the Great Lakes Bay region? And you've lived in other areas. Just what do you think about this area?
Well, I spoke at a chamber event earlier this year, and I kind of drew some similarities to downtown Indianapolis and what they called the donut counties, and how they decided to become Central Indiana region. I lived in Northwest Arkansas, which is the home of Walmart, and you can certainly ties between Northwest Arkansas and the Great Lakes Bay region with having an equal Fortune 25 company here in the mix. And it's all about these communities coming together with a common purpose. And I think that we're getting there. We're not quite there yet, but we're on the way. And so I wanted to be a part of that journey. And so I think of Saginaw and Midland and Bay and Isabella County, if we continue to kind of work together through this economic, kind of future and dream, people will realize that it'll become a magnet, and more key people will realize that this is a pretty good place to live.
One of those things that I wanted to hit on real quick is we've seen a resurgence of our downtowns over the course of the last 20 years. Downtown Bay City has basically doubled in size with Uptown. Downtown Midland keeps increasing, and it's beautiful in the construction. Downtown Mount Pleasant's a really cute little place. It's great restaurants and shops and art. Downtown Saginaw is the one that's coming, and there's a vision, and it's going to be very different in the next 20 years. How excited are you by that prospect and what it means?
I am wildly excited for that, because with the medical diamond and then some other things that are going to be happening over the next 6 months, there's going to be opportunity for investment. We have the high school being built right across the river. I mean, there's just the Temple Arts is thriving. We've got the Memorial Cup coming. We just have to all work together to make sure that there's key investment going into the places that the community wants and needs in order to spend those dollars to keep that ball rolling.
Yeah, we talked about it briefly, but at the end of the week, I'm going to have the 4 hospital systems on. And part of the conversation is just how big healthcare is, and that we're home to world-class healthcare. So Seth, I just want to thank you for being here today. My first Hoosier in studio in his warm-up gear. It's great, but in all honesty, it's great to have you, Brooke, and the kids here in the Great Lakes Bay region, and appreciate all you do at Huntington Bank.
Thanks for having us on, Matt, and thanks for letting us tell our story a little bit, and everybody have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
Thanks. We'll be back after these messages.
For 3 days only, mark your calendars and cancel your plans. The Art Noe Appliance VIP sale is happening November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. They're celebrating their new name by offering unbelievable deals and giving away awesome prizes. For 3 days only, Art Noe Appliance will have incredible deals on just about everything in the store. Deals on Maytag, KitchenAid, Whirlpool, Electrolux, Frigidaire, and more. On top of better than Black Friday pricing, they pay your sales tax on items in stock. You won't find a better deal than the Art Noe Appliance 3-day VIP VIP sale. Great prices and great prizes. You can enter to win an ice maker, pots and pans, and even a full-size front-load washer and dryer. And while you're shopping and saving money at Art Noe Appliance, you can enjoy delicious treats, sweets, and beverages from our friends at Baines Apple Valley. Shop the VIP sale online at artnoeappliance.com. Plus, make sure to stop into one of our 3 locations in Saginaw, Frankenmuth, or the outlet in Shields. That's 3 days, 3 locations, and better than Black Friday pricing at Art Noe Appliance.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
RocketGrabPlus.com.
This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for Super Cute in Freeland. You can get a $25 gift certificate for just $12.50. That's half off. Super Cute is a home decor and gift shop that features trendy clothing, holiday clothing, giftable items, and so much more. Visit them on Facebook and head over to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Inside the 20, inside the 10, makes a cut. Mason McKenzie to the house. Touchdown Saginaw Valley. And the freshman playing in his own backyard with a spectacular 57-yard touchdown run.
The Cardinals of Saginaw Valley State University return home this Saturday to host the Northern Michigan University Wildcats. Game day coverage presented by Jagged Nathan Neurosurgery and Forward Energy begins at 12:30 on 100.5 FM WSGW.
That's all for this hour of the Art Lewis Show. Want to thank Seth Farago with Huntington Bank for joining me. Up in the next hour, we're going to have friends from The Rock. But first, the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Israel is pressing deeper into Gaza with soldiers and tanks. The Israeli military says it is now striking all parts of the Gaza Strip. Correspondent Cami McCormick has more on our top story.
An Israeli commander spoke to his troops in a radio message, telling them Israel has one goal, victory, no matter how long the fighting takes. In Gaza, the humanitarian situation worsens. Aid organizations are increasingly calling for a ceasefire to allow in food, fuel, and water.
Here in the U.S., backlash is growing over the Middle East war. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin tells CBS Mornings.
We have seen a massive increase in anti-Semitic threats across the Commonwealth. And I also know that members of the Muslim community are worried about backlash.
He plans to issue an executive directive today to address hate in his state. We're learning of red flags missed and one noted in the case of the gunman who killed 18 people in Lewiston, Maine last week. Gun shop owner Rick LaChapelle refused to sell Robert Card a silencer after Card answered yes on a questionnaire asking if he'd ever been committed to a mental health facility.
We just can't imagine how much more carnage would have been if he had a silencer on the front of that.
Records show the Army Reserve and a Maine Sheriff's Department were aware of Card's mental health issues more than 5 months ago. Lots of trick-or-treaters would be wise to bundle up tonight. Odyssey meteorologist Craig Allen.
There are freeze warnings and frost advisories in effect for much of the eastern half of the United States.
The high for today in Chicago, 37. Low tonight, 29. Bud Light's parent company is still suffering financial fallout from its controversial promotion with a trans influencer. CBS's Jim Crisula.
InBev says that revenue growth worldwide was offset by a drop in North American sales. Revenue in the world's largest brewer and parent company of Bud Light fell more than 13% in the latest quarter. Global revenue climbed 5%.
Lots of fans are remembering Matthew Perry with music.
No one told you life was gonna be this way.
The Friends theme song from the Rembrandts has had over 1.3 million streams across Spotify and YouTube this week. Charlie Puth even performed it at his concert in Melbourne, Australia. The Dow down 84. This is CBS News.
Make the hiring process work for you. With Indeed's end-to-end hiring solution, you can attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Start at Indeed.com/credits.
As the weather gets colder, it's a good idea to layer up with scarves, hats, and mittens. Another layer of protection this season is to get your flu and COVID-19 vaccines. You can get both vaccines at the same time. Talk to your healthcare provider or learn more at michigan.gov/COVID-flu-RSV and layer up for some added peace of mind. Sponsored by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
Your pet isn't just a pet, they're part of your family. Most of the pet food on the market is cooked at high temperatures, which kills nutrients. A scoop of Dynavite is a 3-in-1 daily supplement, adding back key nutrients to your pup's health. Try Dynavite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at DINOVITE.com/radio. That's Dynavite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dynavite.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. This is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 33 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Percha. A Bay County man was listed in stable condition after being shot on Bay City's west side early Monday morning. A fight and gunshots were reported just after 3 o'clock in the 400 block of State Street, according to police. Officers responded and found the 34-year-old man suffering from gunshot wounds to his elbow and his abdomen. He was taken to a local hospital for treatment. Police collected evidence and interviewed witnesses at the scene. According to investigators, the suspect vehicle, a dark-colored pickup truck, was seen driving south on State Street. At this time, no arrests have been made. Police are asking anyone with information about the shooting to call the Bay City Department of Public Safety or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-422-JAIL. It's almost time for the Saginaw Soup Pitch Competition. WSGW's Matthew Lester has this report.
The event will be held at 6 p.m. on Thursday, November 2nd at the CMURC at the SVRC Marketplace, 203 South Washington Avenue. The event will highlight local entrepreneurs as they pitch their small business ideas to a panel of judges and an audience. There are prizes for first, second, and third place. There is a $5 entry at the door, and guests can vote for their favorite entrepreneurial idea. Free samples from local restaurants will also be available. For more details, contact Rachel Morneau at Saginaw Future at 989-757-2102. Matthew Lester, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
Saginaw's Promise will be joined by the state of Michigan's chief medical executive during the annual Power of a Promise luncheon, November 7th. Dr. Natasha Bagdasarian will give the keynote address, speaking about her role, the impact of the pandemic on the medical community, STEM education, and the importance of educating medical professionals in Michigan and Saginaw specifically. The event will also feature presentations about Saginaw Promise and its partners. Proceeds from the luncheon support Saginaw Promise's scholarships and other programs intended to help students graduate high school and attend a post-secondary education. The Power of a Promise luncheon will be held at Horizon Conference Center at 11 a.m. For more information, visit saginawpromise.org. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
Hi, this is Jessica. It's time to check out United Financial Credit Union and experience the credit union difference. From youth accounts to retirement accounts, we can help you with all of your financial needs. Here at United Financial Credit Union, we've been committed to our communities since 1964 and strive to provide long-term financial stability to our members and their families. Whether you need a loan or are looking for a safe place for your savings, you will always be treated as our top priority. Not a member? Why not? It's never been easier to open an account. It's time for you to check out your local friendly credit union and see how we will put you first.
Must meet eligibility requirements, federally insured by the NCUA.
We're where you work, where you live. United Financial Credit Union. Serving the Valley community.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. A judge wants to know why 3 of the men convicted in the Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping plot were sent to prisons outside of Michigan. Paul Ballard, Joe Morrison, and Pete Musico have been transferred to federal out-of-state prisons. Lawyers for Ballard and Morrison argue the distance to their clients interferes with a right to have access to Michigan courts during the appeals process. Judge Thomas Wilson now wants to know why they've been transferred and other than generic concerns. So far, the Attorney General's office has not given a specific reason. The city of Flint is using ARPA funds to help new mothers and their babies. Michigan News Source's Katie Hyde has this report.
Pregnant women can enroll when they're 20 weeks along and receive an initial $1,500 cash transfer. After giving birth, they'll receive $500 per month for 1 year. Mayor Sheldon Neely spoke to WNEM.
One kind of subsidy like this can also support a healthier community and healthier families.
Flint officials said they expect the program to help about 1,200 mothers each year. For Michigan News Source, I'm Katie Hyde.
The Treasury Department is out with another warning. October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and criminals are using new tricks to obtain personal information. Since 2017, they say increased security measures have protected more than 10,000 taxpayers and prevented more than $36.9 million from being distributed to scammers. They say if you encounter scammers, trust your gut, and if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. WSGW News Time at 10:10. I'm Mike Percha. Here's WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Your Halloween forecast today does have a couple of tricks in it. We are expecting some rain and snow showers. Primarily should actually be snow with some rain mixing in, but we will see that during the afternoon and the evening, more on an isolated and even scattered basis. So not everybody will see this activity, but those who do see it, certainly something that's not too common. Seeing some snowflakes on Halloween, definitely not unheard of, but definitely not something we see every year. For today, it'll also only be a high of 40 degrees. That puts us into the middle 30s by the evening. Trick-or-treaters, it'll be feeling more like the upper 20s with the wind factored in, so please bundle up for the evening. For tonight, we'll have a low of 26 degrees, mostly clear, just some lake effect still in the thumb. Wednesday, still that lake effect in the thumb with a high of 41, then 45 on Thursday. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
And current temperature at WSGW is 34 degrees.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Good morning. Welcome to the Art Lewis Show. This is Matt Wan from the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance. I am serving as a guest host between now and Monday for Art, as he is on a much-needed and well-deserved vacation And happy Halloween to everyone. Although hearing that weather report and hearing Jonathan just say it's 34 degrees, I may go into Christmas carols at some point. If it's going to snow and we're going to do this, we can just skip over Halloween tonight and go right into Christmas for all I'm concerned with this weather. And I will tell you, I'm not the level of Terry Henney in terms of being a weather weenie, but I'm pretty significant. There's a little bit of a hint that a week from now, there could be some kind of snowstorm coming across the Midwest. So, folks, you know how it goes. As soon as that last trick-or-treater leaves your door and it hits midnight, the Christmas carols start tomorrow morning. So, always a fun time of year. Here in this second hour, though, I am thrilled to be with the dynamic duo of Sarah and Tara. I'm with Tara Welch, the Development Director, and Sarah Weisbarth, Director of Discover You from the Rock Center for Youth Development. Good morning.
Good morning. Morning.
And so before they jumped on, I was teasing them like, okay, we're going to do the Sarah and Tara show, which I think could be a radio show. The name's great, but you aren't the only Sarah and Taras at the Rock Center for Youth Development. There's more than one pair of Sarah and Taras.
There is. We have two pairs of Sarah and Taras.
How do you guys get work done when someone say Tara come do? Does that kind of give you plausible deniability? Oh, I thought you were talking to the other Tara. I'm sorry, I didn't get that done.
Yeah, so if you're sitting in our office and someone yells Sarah, all three of us generally answer because you just hear the era part. But generally, we use last names. So if we need something, we'll refer to our last names, just like a sports team,
Totally fair. As someone, I'm 48, and in 1974, every other boy that was born was named Matt. So I get it. I pretty much just go by Felan, and if you really know me, that's all anyone really does call me if you know me well. So I totally get it. Why don't we start big picture? I think a lot of folks have heard of the Rock Center for Youth Development in the region for years. But for our listeners who this may be the first time hearing or have just always heard the name but didn't know the specifics, can you tell us exactly what the Rock Center for Youth Development is and what you do?
Yes. So we are I like to call us a resilience building organization that serves teens right here directly in our region. So we have programming in Isabella County, Saginaw County, Midland County, Bay County. And the best way for me to describe it is we have two pillars of our organization. One pillar is our out of school time that we serve kids directly out of school in 3 locations in Midland County. And then we have our resilience building content that we support teachers, educators, other nonprofits in our region with skills that they can use to build their kids up. So we are building the best youth of our future. So our mission is, though, to build hope and resilience in youth based on a foundation of acceptance, support, and respect. And so we want to encourage those healthy choices and relationships in our teens. And we really do that. We put the hard work down, and we have been impacting at least over 40,000 youth directly with our out of school time. And with Discover You, our numbers are way higher than that. Like we're way beyond 100,000. So we're just really proud of that impact that we can do here.
So I just want to clarify, just so that everyone's clear. So there's a little bit of a distinction in terms of what's offered in each county, correct?
Correct.
So Midland has the out of school learning opportunities. How does that work in Midland? What do the kids do? Where do they come from? How many kids are served? And then, the follow-up question to that, is there any interest in seeing that expand to the other counties?
Yes. So to start, so our 3 locations for our direct service of out of school time, yes, are in Midland County. We serve the youth right at the schools. So we're at 3 middle schools, Meridian, Northeast, and Jefferson. And we see about, I would say, 70 kids a day at each location, except Meridian. Meridian's about 25. We have over 350 kids that are registered for our out of school time right now. And the services that we provide vary. We do social emotional learning. We do our Discover You content in our out of school time. We do wellness, outdoor activities, homework assistance. We have great partnerships. And we also do arts and crafts and other fun things. So the kids come in, they get to choose the activity that they would like to participate in that day. And we help support these families while their parents finish their day at work. And Most of our population is in the Alice population, but we like to say we serve anybody. Any kid is welcome to our space, and we really enjoy having them with us. And of course, we would love to see expansion all over the region. I mean, that's an easy follow-up question. That would be wonderful, but we do have a lot of other great organizations that do serve the youth. So especially at the Boys and Girls Club, they do a great job in Bay County. So any way that we can partner with other nonprofits and support them as we expand would be the way to go.
So, Tara, I'm going to have to follow up one more time. So for our
Yep.
listeners that may not know what the Alice population is, just
Yes.
what is
Yep.
Alice? Can you explain exactly what the Alice population is?
Yeah, so the Alice population is a lot of times your neighbor, right? They're considered asset limited, income constrained, and employed. So these are the people that are working full-time jobs. They have a family, they have a house, but they are one disaster away from not being able to pay their basic bills. So for example, like if their car would totally break, they don't have a savings account to support their family. So they're getting by, right? They're paying all their bills every month, but that's it. So we support them by having a space that kids can come, and we are a barrier-free program. So we offer lots of scholarships that we get support from our local foundations to offer to our families. And we probably offer scholarships to 70% of our students that come.
Tara, I can tell you, I was thrilled when you took that job because, for me, it was seeing someone from Bay City going to, I think a lot of people think of it as a Midland-centric organization, but it's not, and it's expanding. And I think when you took that role, a lot of folks saw regional expansion in their head, and they could see that hope that someone with a different set of relationships, a different lens, someone that was coming from a really unique background, which I hope we'll talk about that. And if you're bringing some of your previous skills from Studio 23 into those programs. So Sarah Weisbarth, also with us, director of Discover You. I laughed when we came in. Tara was like, Sarah's going to do all the talking, and I'm just going to sit here. I had a feeling that might not be the case. Sarah, can you talk about your role with The Rock and what you do as the director of Discover You?
Yeah, so I think the thing I enjoy the most about my role is the impact that our programs have with the youth. Several years ago, we were seeing in our after-school programs that young people were lacking skills. And when we talk about skills, we're talking about decision-making skills, goal setting, relationship skills, conflict resolution, communication, leadership, teamwork, all of those fundamental skills that we know young people need to have in order to be successful. And quite frankly, they're skills adults are still working on developing. And we were noticing that those skills were lacking in our students, and there wasn't an intentional way to help students develop those skills, moving beyond concept into actual application and practice. And we designed our own content in order to help students grow in those skills, those abilities, those strengths within them, and have been delivering that throughout our region for, again, many, many years. But then we started to see that we can only reach so many students, and we want to share our content and our curriculum with other adults that work with youth so they can impact the youth the same way we have with our content and curriculum.
Sarah, as you bring, the type of skills you're talking about, often referred to as the soft skills, and you talk to employers and employers in our region and quite frankly across the country say, we're concerned about the employees we have because they can't communicate, they don't problem solve, they don't handle change well, struggling to adapt. I mean, the type of skills that you're talking about working with these kids are exactly what employers are looking for, right? I mean, this goes beyond what they're doing as children. This is truly preparing these students for careers, correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're 21st century skills. They're high functioning skills. You are absolutely correct. We have employers that will reach out to us and say, we are employing young people out of high school. How can we help them develop these skills? And how can you help us be those leaders and coaches within our employment environment to help those kids develop those skills?
Yeah, I got to tell you, there's been many a day where I've seen a group of students in middle school and high school all sitting around in a basement looking at their phones and not communicating and not being able to do those things. Seems like you could make a pretty big impact just going house to house on a night like Halloween and meeting with these kids to teach some of these skills. It's something that I think maybe our generation took for granted, but it's definitely something that these kids need. So it's great to hear the work that you're doing. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with the Rock Center for Youth Development.
Attention everyone on Medicare.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Cut.
What? This is a Medicare annual enrollment ad.
Yeah, but for eHealth, we make Medicare easy, not stressful. You can compare plans in the Saginaw area from multiple insurance companies side by side.
So it's convenient.
And personal. Compare plans that cover your doctors, your medications, and your budget.
Personal.
Plus, you'll get free unbiased support from eHealth's licensed insurance agents with no obligation to enroll.
I see it now. eHealth's like a helpful guide or...
Your Medicare matchmaker.
Exactly. Okay, here we go. Medicare plans change every year. Find the plan for you by comparing all-in-one plans all in one place at eHealth, your Medicare matchmaker.
Nailed it.
Get started at eHealth.com or call 1-800-975-1891 to speak to a licensed insurance agent.
That's 1-800-975-1891.
All voices are paid actors. This ad is not from the government. It's from eHealth, an insurance agency selling plans for many insurance companies.
Bruce.
Bill?
How's business?
Booming.
Bountiful bushels of soybeans you're boasting.
Boatloads of bushels.
But how?
Bags of Zetavo soybean seed.
Bags of Zetavo soybean seed?
Bunches of them.
Bunches of bushels from bags, huh?
You betcha.
That's a breakthrough bean to boggle the brain.
Bill.
Bruce.
Best we give it a break.
An innovative seed packed with Enlist E3 trait technology and award-winning varieties for yields that keep growing and growing. Zetavo is seed done right. Always read and follow label directions.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Why pay full price when you know you can save at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out our deals from Frankenmuth Corn Maze, Reality Check in Bay City, Applied Training Solutions, Music Mixology DJ Services, Unique Floral Design and Gifts, Frankenmuth Aerial Park, Bubble Tea Brewhouse, Daylight Outfitters, and so many more. Half off? Yeah, it's true. It's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
I'm Susan Lee, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks lost ground at the open. The Fed meeting is today and tomorrow, creating uncertainty for investors. Caterpillar shares opened down 6%, dragging down the Dow. The heavy equipment maker's quarter was much better than forecast, but Wall Street is seeing signs of demand softening. Pfizer shares are down 1%. COVID vaccine and treatment sales were sharply lower, dragging down the quarter. And JetBlue had a miserable quarter. It lost money and the stock opened down 11%. JetBlue says the sheer magnitude of air traffic control and weather-related delays has been staggering. JetBlue expects to lose money for the year. Also, the Justice Department's lawsuit to block JetBlue's merger with Spirit Airlines started today. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosilda, invested in you.
At Simply Safe Home Security, your safety is the only thing that matters. That's why you get 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day, because every home deserves to be protected. Right now, get 45% off the whole home security system named the best of 2023 by U.S. News and World Report. Visit simplysafe.com/radio to save big today. Advanced Home Security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
A psoriasis flare-up can make a walk in the park, well, no walk in the park.
It's that obvious, huh? I've tried so many lotions and creams, but I still have symptoms.
So those don't do enough to treat the inflammation beneath the skin, leaving you with those uncontrolled symptoms.
Makes sense, but what else can I do?
You can get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Make an appointment and, you're already on it.
Hi, yes, I'd like to make an appointment.
Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The WSGW Morning Team.
The WSGW online poll has to do with name, image, and likeness for Michigan high school student athletes. The Michigan House recently passed legislation to allow high school student athletes to benefit financially by entering into name, image, and likeness business agreements. About 20 other states already do this. Lawmakers worked with the Michigan High School Athletic Association to develop guidelines such as parental consent, barring agreements related to alcohol, prohibiting of wearing sponsor items. Now, it's estimated maybe 25 of the state's 180,000 student athletes might benefit. And this is just 2 years after college student athletes have been allowed to enter NIL agreements. So the poll question, do you think that high school student athletes should be able to benefit financially using name, image, and likeness? It's yes, it's no, it's I'm not sure. It's a vote you can make by heading to WSW.com, scrolling down the homepage, and finding the poll box.
Your morning team, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
Good morning and welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. This is Matt Felan, and I am joined by Batman and Robin here on Halloween, the Tara and Sarah Show with the Rock Center for Youth Development. And we were chatting about Discover You and the skills that you teach in the Discover You program. Can you talk about how you do that exactly? How does your staff work with the kids, and how are those skills really brought to life through the work of the Rock?
Yeah, so let's talk about the environments that we do it in. We go into classrooms, we have our own out-of-school time programs, and then we support other out-of-school time and other educational entities. We will go right into those environments, do direct service, do an activity, do a discussion, really listen to the kids and their perspective on how they are growing and developing. And again, with those life applicable skills. But then we know we're not going to be able to reach all kids, and we want to reach all kids. We then have an environment where we train adults. We do that virtually, but live through Zoom, where we're training adults to utilize our content so then they can have that great impact. We also do a lot of professional development for our regional education institutes. Staff that are working with kids want to have support and want to have resources to say, how can we develop strengths in our young people? So you'll see us in a variety of settings where it's working with adults who work with youth in training and professional development, but then also going and doing that direct work with the young people in workshop-based format. And of course, we have our after-school programs where our staff are fully equipped as youth development specialists to be developing these skills.
So here's a question, because, when we talk about the adults that are working with these, middle schoolers and high schoolers, right? There's a big distinction between someone who's 23 and someone who's 63 working with these students. Are you seeing that it's easier for that kind of younger, millennial to work with these kids? Are you finding that maybe the better connection comes from an older generation? How does that work through the generations working with these kids?
I think all that matters is that an adult is taking an interest in a young person and seeing their qualities and their strengths and highlighting them. And you can do that at any age, stage, generation. Certainly, you're going to bring some experience. If you're an older generation, you've got that background, you're like, oh, when I was your age. But no young person wants to hear when I was your age, because their experience is their true experience. They want to be heard. They want to be listened to. They want someone to just give them that quality of support that says, you're awesome and we see good things about you.
Yeah, I'll tell you. So we all wear various hats. And one of the hats that I wear is a school board member in Bay City. And I'm fortunate to serve as a school board president this year. And one of my favorite things is we'll have students come in as part of student council or leadership program. And they have to listen to a board meeting. And then when they're done, we ask them, what did you think about what you heard today? What are your opinions? And I often go, wow, if we could have more meetings where we knock all the adults out of the room and actually just put the students in the room and listen to their voice, what they see, what they're experiencing, what they want, we could be so much further ahead, because their insight, their knowledge, I don't know, I felt like when I was 14, I was totally aloof and played sports and I wasn't thinking about the world and other things. And these kids are pretty knowledgeable, and they're definitely exposed to so much more. Do you guys find in the world where, I'm holding up my iPhone for you listeners, in the world that they live in, where they deal with social media and they consume content constantly, and it just seems like you never have a chance to shut off your brain. What's that role in terms of, kind of the environment that the kids live in today, which is different than, let's say, even in 15 years ago, it was very different than it is today.
Yeah. So we know social media has an impact, but I want to challenge and push back on that, because as an adult, if you put your own social media down and you pause and you connect with a young person in a meaningful way, That's what they're craving. They're on their social media. We're all on our social media because we want some form of connection. We can create that connection with young people by the way we show up in their lives, the way we see them, the way we hear them, the way we, again, highlight the awesome things about them. We have to take an interest in young people in a meaningful way if we want to see them grow and develop.
So when we were chatting before the show, you were talking about building assets on youth as being a priority for the Rock. What exactly does that mean? What is building assets on youth?
So it's building assets in youth. When we are helping youth develop internal qualities and abilities in themselves, they are going to naturally be more successful. And they are going to be able to resist high risk-taking behavior. It's a framework that comes from the developmental assets. We partner with other nonprofits in our community to be able to measure and say, do our young people have assets? If they have a positive adult in their lives, if they have resistance skills, if they have good decision making, if they love to learn, these are all qualities that if young people have them, they are going to make positive decisions and they are going to resist high risk taking behaviors. And I'm talking about substance misuse, suicidal ideations. They're going to avoid violence. They're going to have positive relationships, all the things we need to be successful. So fundamentally, if we as adults can help young people build these assets, they're going to be successful.
So as I hear that, let's say that you're working with a young person and you look and you notice that they don't have a key asset. They don't have that adult in their life that they can connect with and get guidance. Do you partner with other organizations to help kind of fill those gaps? And what would be some examples of what you do when you're working with a child and you say, hey, these assets are not here for Billy, which are normally there for Tommy. We have to help fill that in and make sure they have those assets. How do you do that then at that point?
So it's in two aspects. There are external assets that a community can create programs and provide resources to support the external environment and those external assets in young people. Where we really want adults to start to have an influence and where we can help other adults have that influence is the internal assets. And when we as adults are spending time with a young person, when we are helping them identify their strengths, and when I talk about strengths, I'm talking about bravery, resilience, perseverance, zest, all of those things that, again, we naturally have, but young people don't believe it in themselves. So when we're partnering with other organizations and helping them utilize our content, which is researched and proven and evidence-based to help develop assets, then that is how we're intentionally developing those skills.
So I got to tell you, just Sarah, when we hear this conversation, what we're talking about today, the depth that you're going into is really quite staggering, right? Because a lot of after school or out of school is, hey, we just got a place we're going to watch them, and they may get some food and they may have some fun activity or play a game, but I mean, you're really diving deep. I give you guys all the credit in the world because not a lot of folks will really kind of take that level of intentionality to have that level of impact. Has this been at the Rock since day one, or has this developed through the years?
Well, it's developed through the years because we were seeing the lacking of the intentional skill, right? Like if we have students that can't handle conflict well, we have an obligation to help them be able to manage conflict. But it is how we show up. I can't say it enough. It is how we show up. So we could be doing a STEM activity. We could be playing a board game. We could be doing art. And in that moment, saying to that student, wow, look at how you're utilizing your creativity. Like you're brilliant. That's what's developing those assets. It's the words that we use. It's the way that we talk with kids, to kids, and about kids. It's about mindset and our approach to youth development.
Great. Well, we're going to take another break and we will be back with The Rock here after these messages.
Looking for bigger, bolder, better yields? Look no further than FSC. FS Envision Seed Corn and FS High Soy Soybeans are here to change the game. Our seed products deliver winning results every single time. Your local FS crop specialist is ready to take your farm and yields to the next level. Ready to change the game with bin-busting yields at harvest? Reach out to your local FS retailer or visit fsc.com.
Reminder, Medicare open enrollment is October 15th through December 7th. Have local Medicare experts walk you through the choices this fall. Medicare Choices is now M-Care Choices. Same professional assistance, but now with a different name. Does your Medicare plan include help paying for gas for your car, utilities, food and groceries, dental and vision, no-cost hearing aids, Medicare Part B premium credits? Call M-Care Choices, formerly Medicare Choices, today at 989-899-7820. No fee service. Call the Medicare experts. M-Care Choices, formerly Medicare Choices, 989-899-7820.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code STRONG for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code STRONG for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code STRONG.
It's that time of year. The kids are back in school, and it won't be long before they're bringing home more than just homework. Colds, flu, and viruses are making their rounds, along with miserable seasonal allergies. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage, the nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, and germs. Navage helps provide natural, immediate relief. Listen to the words of Michelle, a verified Navage user. I've had problems for as long as I can remember and finally found this wonderful product. What a difference it has made. I am so excited about this. I tell everyone, thank you, unquote. This cold and flu season, join nearly 4 million people and experience how Navage can help you breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Back down to Mangoni. Here's a chance. Misa in the circle. Shoots and scores. Second of the game. Michael Misa. It's a power play goal.
The Saginaw Spirit are back in action this Thursday, taking on the Erie Otters. Game day coverage begins at 6:50 on 100.5 FM WSGW.
You are with WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
Good morning and welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. Matt Felan with the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance filling in for Art this week. And a fascinating discussion here at the 10 o'clock hour with Tara and Sarah from the Rock Center for Youth Development. We were chatting in that last segment just about the world in which children live in today, a world where they have cell phones and access to information and social media. And Tara, I can tell you at Bay City Public Schools this year, one of the things that we found that we thought was holding our student population back was too much cell phone time. Mm-hmm. So we actually created a policy where elementary school students, they can never have their cell phone out. It's got to be in a bag or a locker the entire day. Middle school students, same. From the moment they get there to the end of the day, no access to a cell phone. It has to be put away, and ideally in a locker. And even at the high school level, we said no cell phones during instructional time period. And the impact so far, although the kids don't like it, and trust me, my children and their friends blame me, which I gladly will take the heat. But I've had a chance to ask them, what difference has that made? Have you noticed anything? And kind of across the board, they say we all seem to talk to one another a lot more. How does it look in your after school programs? And do you see something similar? And what does that mean for your students?
Yeah. So if you walk through our programming any day after school, you generally will not see very many kids, if any, on their cell phones, because they're interacting with us, they're interacting with the staff, they're interacting with their friends, they're making good choices on the programs that they participate in. And like Sarah mentioned in the last session, we all look for that connection with others. And a lot of times social media is the easy way to get connection because it's easy to comment, it's easy to look, it's easy to browse. But that connection of that face-to-face interaction is wonderful. And one of the external assets that we talk about is the time spent outside of the home. So for youth, ideally 3 hours a week. And that's only 3 hours a week. A lot of people think, oh, I gotta have my kid involved in something every day and every night and all the time, when it shows that 3 hours a week is a wonderful way for kids to spend time with others in a type of club, whether that's out of school time, that's soccer, that's debate club. Any way that they can interact with their peers is really positive without the cell phones. And we do see that in our programming every day, that we talk to each other and we have a great time.
So, Tara, I have an affinity towards development directors as a former professional fundraiser. The reality is, in order to meet the needs financially for the Rock Center for Youth Development, you guys have to go and raise dollars. How is the Rock funded, and how important are your development efforts towards meeting really kind of the needs and the demands of the organization?
So we have funding through a couple different avenues. One way is our local foundations here in the community that support our after-school programming and our Discover You. We are a United Way partner in Midland County. We receive state funding, and then we also receive donations from community members. So our biggest fundraising event is our annual dinner that we host in March, and this year it'll be March 7th, 2024, at the Great Hall in Midland Bay County. So we do see those funding revenues come in from different directions, which helps us create a nice balanced budget. But we are looking at ways to partner with new foundations, new state programming, and different ways that we can help support each other with the school systems and with our nonprofit partners.
So, Tara, for those that are listening that are out there, they're like, wow, what the Rock Center for Youth Development does is amazing. And I love the depth that they're taking. I love the skills that they're working on. And they want to participate in one of these events or become a donor. What do they need to do right now? The iron is hot. Let's strike. Pull out your wallet out there.
Yes.
Grab that credit card. How can they donate to the Rock Center?
They can visit our website at therock4yd.org. And we have a donate page right there that they can donate. Or they can email me directly at Tara at therock4yd.org. And we can connect on different ways they can volunteer. Maybe you're interested in helping serve on a committee like our annual dinner committee, planning committee, or our golf outing. That's always a lot of fun. So there's many ways to volunteer. But not only volunteer with those fun development efforts, but even volunteering with our kids with the after school program is always welcome. We always tell people that if you have a passion in life, whether that is gardening, playing board games, or reading books, come be with our kids, come volunteer your time, even if it's one day a month for an hour. It makes a huge difference that different people of different walks of life are coming in as good role models for our kids.
Tara, I'm so glad you brought that up, because in the region right now, one of our main goals is how do we take the talent and expertise of our professional community, and how do we get that in front of the kids more so that they can understand what the jobs of tomorrow look like, what their careers could look like, and that out of school learning. And for us at the Alliance, we focus heavily on out of school STEM learning. We always kind of feel that you capture a child's true passion and imagination when it's outside of school, and it's not what they're told to learn. It's when they have the opportunity to go and experience whatever they care about. That seems to be that area where you really can capture the passion and the energy of a child, don't you think?
Oh, yes. So I love that you just brought up STEM because we have a wonderful volunteer that's retired from Dow, and she does all of our STEM programming for us. And her focus on STEM when she volunteers is just to have kids have curiosity and ask why. And so they do these great lessons and programs with STEM with her, and they just get that curiosity ignited in them to ask why and be creative.
God knows I could talk about STEM all day.
Yeah.
So we should stop now and take a quick break, but we will be back with Tara Welch and Sarah Weisbarth with the Rock Center for Youth Development.
For 3 days only, mark your calendars and cancel your plans. The Art Noe Appliance VIP sale is happening November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. They're celebrating their new name by offering unbelievable deals and giving away awesome prizes. For 3 days only, Art Noe Appliance will have incredible deals on just about everything in the store. Deals on Maytag, KitchenAid, Whirlpool, Electrolux, Frigidaire, and more. On top of better than Black Friday pricing, they pay your sales tax on items in stock. You won't find a better deal than the Art Noe Appliance 3-day VIP sale. Great prices and great prizes. You can enter to win an ice maker, pots and pans, and even a full-size front-load washer and dryer. And while you're shopping and saving money at Art Noe Appliance, you can enjoy delicious treats, sweets, and beverages from our friends at Baines Apple Valley. Shop the VIP sale online at artnoeappliance.com. Plus, make sure to stop into one of our 3 locations in Saginaw, Frankenmuth, or the outlet in Shields. That's 3 days, 3 locations, and better than Black Friday pricing at Art Noe Appliance.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks. And how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
Active Liver is one of many award-winning health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Purchase at Amazon.com or for a volume discount, visit newnordicusa.com. Available as a tablet or delicious sugar-free gummy. Protect and help your liver the easy and effective way with Active Liver at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. There are a lot of great dads out there. Sometimes those dads get divorced. For more than 30 years, we've represented men in divorce, confronting the pitfalls that could devastate your finances or harm your family relationships. While every situation is different, our goal is to get the best outcome for you and your kids. Visit CordellCordell.com to take the first step.
Offices in Detroit, Ann Arbor, and Grand Rapids. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's attorneys. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Your WSGW morning team.
So, gentleman's story, but it involves me as the gentleman. When I was out yesterday, I wanted a Slurpee. So I pulled into one of the local 7-Elevens, and as I was getting out, there was a woman who was exiting her vehicle. She was struggling a little bit, and then I noticed she was using a cane. So as I got to the door, I patiently waited for her, and I opened the door, and she thanked me and said, "It's nice to know there are still gentlemen in this world." Mm-hmm. To which I kind of chuckled, and I said, "Thank you." And I said, "I'm sure there are many more and better gentlemen than me." And then as it turns out, when I got to pay for my Slurpee, guess what? I didn't have to pay for it. She did. She paid for my Slurpee.
See what happens when you pay it forward.
But I just thought that was sweet. But she didn't have to do that. Should have got the extra large. But no. See, I ruined the moment. Just to prove I'm not the gentleman you thought I was, okay?
The morning team, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
Good morning and welcome back to our final segment of the Art Lewis Show here on Halloween. And I've been joined here in the second hour by our friends from the Center the Rock Center for Youth Development, Tara Welch and Sarah Weisbarth. And we've been talking about building assets in youth and what that means. And definitely one of the things that's kind of come across is if we're going to teach these skills to our students, the adults need to have knowledge and information and really some training in how to put this program in place. Can you talk about what's available for adults so that they're in a position to really capitalize on building assets in youth?
Yeah, we've been talking about it real big picture, but it's really simple. So we have designed and are developing a series of videos where you can watch about a skill, a talent, a tip that you can do as an adult working with young people. Watch a 10-minute video over course of one video a week, and then we're gonna invite everyone together to have a conversation because we learn best together. So we're going to have community conversations around those videos and say, well, if I'm going to talk about strengths, if I'm going to talk about growth mindset, if I'm going to talk about goal setting with my kids, how do I go about doing that? It feels like it's overwhelming, but we can simplify it. And we're doing it through those 10-minute videos, one a week, and then come together with a conversation and learn from one another. And we can all impact youth in a meaningful way.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. So I'm going to put you guys on the spot. We're going to do a hypothetical right now, which actually isn't a hypothetical since I'm sitting here. Okay. If the program is so awesome and what you're doing is so amazing, and it's made available directly after school and out of school at a Midland Northeast, what if in theory someone said, how do I put this at Bay City Handy? How can we start out of school there? What if someone was listening and said, we're going to put this at White Pine? For those of us who are listening and truly interested and have access, I mean, we're really going to go at it here. What would we need to do to make this a reality?
Yeah, so I went to White Pine, so that would be really cool. Just start a conversation with us. There's different ways that we can provide services for the students, and having them right at the middle schools is in our opinion, like one of the best ways to do it. So if a school was very interested in having us come out and expand, we would love to talk to them. And then we would talk about the ways that we can fund it. So whether that's through local foundations or if it's a small program fee or whatever that might be, we would love to do that. And we are in conversations with a couple places right now of expanding a little bit more. So we look forward to more opportunities.
I think it's important. I know these conversations are sometimes challenging because we can't do everything, and there's a finite amount of resources in each community. But I really feel like hearing this, we're actually doing a little bit of work right now on the air, and maybe it's intentional or unintentional, but conversations at least need to happen, correct? We owe it to our students in Bay City is a great example for us to at least examine whether this is a viable opportunity, whether it's something we should do. And does that thought overwhelm you guys or scare you if other schools really kind of said, hey, we're going to look at this and we're going to examine this? Is this a conversation you welcome, or is this something that you're like, whoa, we're going to need more staff, we're going to need more money, we're going to need more volunteers, this is really overwhelming? At what point are you guys at for the Rock that you think, hey, let's welcome these discussions and let's do this?
Yeah, I don't think it's overwhelming at all. It's exciting that our community wants to come together and collaborate with us, and that we can provide more resources for our kids. So definitely not overwhelming. Yes, we need all those things, but we have great staff that are highly trained. We do monthly mandatory trainings, and then we do long, extensive trainings in the summer. So you can trust that we are equipping the adults that come into your schools, that come into your programs, that we are equipping them with all the skills that they need to be the best versions of themselves.
And we are in a lot of schools. If it's not after school time, it is going in with our workshops and our programs with Discover You. We're in a lot of Bay City schools. We're in our post-secondary institutions. We're growing in Saginaw. So we can do that after school program, but we can also come in and work with you and your students directly in the classroom.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying. That's an important point because you are doing that in that manner. But I always like to look at where the other opportunities lie and whether those discussions should be had. So it is Halloween, so it's impossible not to talk about that.
Yes.
What is happening with your program on Halloween? Let's have some fun. What are the kids doing today, and what's it going to look like in those after-school programs?
So all of our after-school staff is going to be dressed up today. So that's always fun when we can have fun with the kids and be different characters and dress up. But we're going to have lots of games today with all of our kids at the out of school time sites and lots of candy. We have some volunteers coming in that are going to be serving some hot dogs and chips and good stuff. So, I mean, food, candy, games, can't get any better than that.
My big question then is, why are the two of you not dressed up today here on Halloween? The rhyming names. Why didn't you come in costume and really do it up today?
I looked for mine last night and I could not find my costume bin, but over the weekend I was thing 1 with a partner as thing 1 and thing 2. So I participated.
Well, I love it. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for the work you do. Incredibly informative. And I think this is going to be the start of many other discussions. We'll be back after this break.
The unmistakable sound and unforgettable music. Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort invites you to Christmas Jazz with Kenny G. Sunday, December 10th at 6 p.m. Tickets start at $34. On sale now at the box office and etix.com. Kenny G. Beautiful music for the most beautiful of seasons. Sunday, December 10th. Showtime 6 p.m. at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for Super Cute in Freeland. You can get a $25 gift certificate for just $12.50. That's half off. Super Cute is a home decor and gift shop that features trendy clothing, holiday clothing, giftable items, and so much more. Visit them on Facebook and head over to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal. RocketGrabPlus.com.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
The back-to-back Big Ten champions are hungry for more.
He's in the clear to the 10, to the 5, tipped and intercepted.
What a great catch.
Into the blue, touchdown, Wolverines.
Join us Saturday, November 4th when Michigan hosts Purdue in a rematch of last year's Big Ten title game. Kickoff is at 7:30 right here on your home for the Wolverines.
Game day coverage brought to you by Wolf Isles Ace Hardware begins at 6:30 on 790 AM WSGW.
That wraps up this edition of the Art Lewis Show. Thank you to my friends from Huntington Bank and the Rock Center for Youth Development for joining us. Up next is Focus with Charlie and Children's Grief Center of the Great Lakes Bay region. But first, the news.
From the premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM,